Hi there, trekkers and trekkies. So today we're gonna switch gears. We've looked at lots of toys. We've looked at a handful of books over the last couple of years. We actually have technically looked at cards before, haven't we? They were made of metal. I'll have to remember and be like, yeah, that's associated with this video. You should check out the video of us looking at the metal Kurt cards. But anyways, this is actually a card game called Fluxx. It's the Deep Space Nine version. This is actually my first Star Trek Fluxx that I've managed to get. Uh, I first learned about the game Fluxx probably like 10 years ago. I was maybe more than that. God, now that I think about it, because I moved. It was when I was living in downtown Houston, and I moved there in 2013. So probably 2013, 2014, somewhere in that area is when I first my buddy who lived in the apartment a couple of doors over introduced me to Fluxx, the card game, and then we got Science Fiction Fluxx, which is hilarious and fun. It sort of takes elements from Star Trek, from Star Wars, from Doctor Who, from Battlestar Galactica, like all of the major sci-fis, and kind of combines them into one game. And I think it's because at the time they didn't have licenses for any of them, so everything was sort of a knockoff. Like, it was not called Doctor Who, and he didn't travel in a TARDIS. It was called the Time Doctor, or the Time PhD, or something like that, and he traveled in his relative dimensional time machine. It was funny. But anyways, the few, like, shortly thereafter, actually, probably about 2015, 2016, guess they got the license for Star Trek that came out with original series. They did a Next Generation, then Deep Space Nine, the Voyager, and they actually did some add-on packs there was like add-on packs for Enterprise. They had an Archer add-on pack, and then another one was like Porthos. So we're gonna look at them soon. And a couple of another add-on pack. I can't remember what it was. They actually at one point had a single add-on card I would love to get a hold of to add to this particular deck. You know, I'm a Deep Space Nine guy. We've gone over that in the past. I'd like to get the other versions of the Fluxx, because what you can actually do, you can get all of the Star Trek Fluxx games, all of the add-on packs, shuffle them into a massive deck, and play one huge game. And it sounds like a blast. So I need to just get into this. If you've never played Fluxx, it's a really fun, really simple game. Of course, it comes with advertising for their other games. You see there's original series, and oh, that's funny. Inside the box for Deep Space Nine, they have an ad that says Deep Space Nine Fluxx. I know it's out of focus a little bit. It says arriving in early 2019. Wonder if I can get that to. That's hilarious. You see there they have the Doctor Who Fluxx. I have played the Monty Python Fluxx as well, which that one's a challenge, because they want you to not only like know the show, like you need to have like stuff memorized in order to be able to do some of the stuff in that game. It gets fun. I've played Cthulhu Fluxx once before. That one is fun and weird. Buddy of mine, he had that deck, so we played that. Another friend of mine had the Zombie Fluxx, and I've played that one. I do want to get the Doctor Who Fluxx as well at some point. But yeah, and see, there's Star Fluxx. That's the one that was the combination game that is so much fun. It does come with rules, which, here, let me get this open. which there's a lot there. It tells you about the different types of cards and how they work. There's honestly, there's not a lot that you have to know to jump into this game. It's actually pretty easy. There's a few different kinds of cards that you use throughout the game, and it all starts by taking and putting this card in the middle of the table. Everybody sits around the table, and you go, I think it's clockwise or counterclockwise. Does it even matter? I think you just pick one. Person draws a card, and then they're required to play a card. Well, everybody gets 3 cards to begin with. Says that right there. Everybody gets 3 cards. Then each player draws one, plays one. And what you draw and what you play is affected by the cards in the game. And there's, like I said, there's different kinds of cards. There's new rules which can be added to the basic rules card throughout the game, and you basically, all it is, you do what it says on the card for the different new rules. Oh, look here, they have one for acquisition, of course, making a Ferengi pun. But the whole thing is that you want to. There's 2 things that you want to get, other than rules, because the rules can affect how the game is played. There's things like you have to, during your hand, you have to play every card in your hand but one, and so it's a bit of a strategy thing. Of draw 2, draw 3, draw 4, draw 5, get on with it. Just all kinds of fun rule cards. Then there are action cards, which are cards that you can play during your hand that they can affect just you, they can affect other people. Again, it's you read the description that's on the card, and you play based off of that. So, you go, but what are you playing for? Well, that's the next type of card, is that there are goal cards. That's what these are, the pink. And I'm going to slide that over. This is where it gets kind of fun for the fans. Let me put that over here so everybody is like, oh, yes, it's like the game. Basic rules are there. So, well, I guess I should start by showing the keepers, actually. The keepers and the creepers. So, keepers is the things in the game that you get in your hand that you use for playing. And you can't use a keeper unless you've got it on the table in front of you. If it's in your hand, it doesn't apply to a goal. So, you can have different characters. You see, we've got Deep Space Nine, got Captain Sisko, we got Dax, we got the Wormhole, we've got Odo. And here's the thing I love about these: the art on these cards is beautiful. Interesting, they chose to put Julian in the earlier season uniform. Got Major Kira, again, earlier season haircut. Chief O'Brien, got Worf, we got Quark, we got Kai Wynn, and you'll notice that these don't say anything on them. They're all the backs are identical. But occasionally you do get some that say something on them, like way in here. It says, if discarded, place instead on top of the draw pile. Making it to where it's because it's a cloning joke, to where it'll keep popping up. Got Ducat. Like I said, I love the art on these. Oh, and I forgot to actually point that out. There are symbols on the cards that mean different things. In the case of the Deep Space Nine game, the little station symbol is for people who visit the station. The Delta symbol is for people who work on the station. And I don't know what that logo means on Deep Space Nine. The wormhole doesn't have anything. But the Deep Space Nine, I'll have to find that in a minute. But you see, there's Garrick. He's a visitor. Oh, I wonder if that's a technical thing. Probably so. Because here's the Hollow Suite, and it has that on there. You got Morn. Got the Defiant. We got an Orb. We've got Jake Sisko. Runabout. We got Nog. We got Gold Press Latinum. Got a Transporter. We got Rom. And that is it for all of the keepers that are in this game. Like I said, you can get the expansions and add more, and it'll have more keepers. Like I said, there's a Esri Dex that you can get to add to this if you wanted. Now, then there's also creepers. Does this game only have 3 creepers? I guess so. Which they are, whenever you get a creeper, you've immediately got to play it. Get it down in front of you. It says on there, place immediately and redraw during your turn. You can move this to another player if you discard. This is the Jem'Hadar. We've also got the Founders. And we've got a Malfunction. Like I said, now these can, if you have one of these when you have a goal that does not have this as part of the goal, you don't get the goal until you can get rid of your creeper. And I'll explain that a little bit more in just a second. This is such a fun game. Then there are action cards. There are surprise cards. These are things that can be thrown into the game during the game just to add some fun. So, the last thing is goal cards. Goal cards is what helps you win. If you can get a goal down on the table, in this case, it's Trials and Tribulations. If you're familiar with that episode, these pictures make sense. Means that you need to have the Defiant and the Orb, which, if you'll recall, those were in here somewhere. Okay, so there's the Orb. There's the Defiant. If you have both of these in your keeper pile, when this goal gets put down, you win. Then there's goals like to the Gamma Quadrant, where you have to have the Wormhole and either a Runabout or the Defiant. But then there's goals like this. This one's a cool one, because this is one, because you remember I said if you've got a Creeper, if you had the Creeper down on your side when you had this goal, it wouldn't matter if you've got the Defiant and the Orb until you can get rid of the Founders. But in the case of this goal, you have to have the Founders along with... I'm going to find them. Where are you? Along with Odo. So that Creeper actually helps you win. So, just going to show you some of these. You got Terok Nor, which is, of course, Deep Space Nine with Gul Dukat. The Gates of Celestial Temple of the Wormhole in Deep Space Nine. Cardassian. Now, with expansions, you'll get other goals that you'll actually need more stuff for. And that's where it gets kind of fun. Got Memories of Curzon Dax. Rentals are available. Quark in the Hollow Suite. Chief of Station Security, so you need Odo and Deep Space Nine for You Are Cordially Invited. You catch that a lot of these are actually episodes, or titles of episodes. Tears of the Prophets, Orb of the Emissary, Prophet Motive, Pa Wraiths, To Serve the Founders, which is entirely Wei-Yun is a keeper, but the Founders are creepers. Trying to find another one that relies on a creeper. Here we go. So, you can actually win with the Dominion, by having 2 creepers, because you need the Jemadar, Wayun, or the Founders. So, I mean, that's, you can, Wayun is the only keeper on this one. You can actually win with nothing but those 2 cards. And that's really fun. It is a really super fun game. I'm not going to show you all the rest of the cards. You need to go out and get the game yourself, because it is amazing. It's fun. It's one of my favorite things to do, especially on a nice, cool summer night with some friends. Because, I mean, you can have games that can be as short as like 5, 10, 15 minutes, because things can go really quick sometimes. And other times, a game can, people can keep having stuff go crazy. It's kind of like how Uno, where somebody keeps getting the draw 2, draw 3 cards. Stuff like that's happened, and it just makes for a fun game. So if you've never managed to get any of the Fluxx games, go out and at least get original Fluxx. It's just a fun game to play. If you can, if you're a big fan of general sci-fi, get Space Fluxx. I think there's an Alice in Wonderland Fluxx. And keep in mind, I don't do sponsored videos. You guys know that. This is just me showing you a really fun game that happens to have a Star Trek theme. So I hope y'all get a kick out of this video. Like I said, a little bit different for what I do. It's just something I wanted to share with you guys, because I just got this brand new. And like I said, I do plan on doing a video showing you the expansions, because that's just some fun stuff. All right. I will see you next time. Until then, go out and make something. If you enjoy my videos and want to see more, please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell icon. If you want to support me, you can find me on Patreon, or go over to Zazzle for prints of my artwork, t-shirts, and other cool stuff. If you're still here, why? Do you want to jam out?